Hello guys, NautoAce here, and I'm going to give my thoughts and a response to Mugenlord and other people on, let's just say, a bit of a controversy in social media. So what am I talking about? Of course, you've been following the Yakuza series. There's going to be Yakuza Like a Dragon Gaiden, that's already out. And then in 2024, Yakuza 8 Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So exciting if you're a Yakuza fan. So a disclaimer bit is, yes, I do play the Yakuza game. I know the lore. I did talk about it on my previous videos. So links on the description box. I am not a fan, but I do enjoy playing them. So why am I talking about a controversy here? So of course, if you notice on my channel, I did give my thoughts about how Like a Dragon Gaiden and Infinite Wealth will have English dub. So that's a good thing. Because believe it or not, I'm one of the people that kind of say to Sega, please have the Yakuza game have English dub. They finally did it with Judgment. And the funny part is that if people don't know, there's even a PlayStation blog that at one point, Sega of Japan wasn't even considering putting dub on Judgment. It was Scott Strickland who kind of convinced him, say, well, we need option. And some of these people already saying, please have English dub, and they finally did it, so that's why. So I'm happy option is there. Yeah, there are some super fans, unfortunately, that are so offended that, oh, how dare you to listen Yakuza in English dub, or to some extent have that option. As Phil Spencer said, option is good. So why is that? Well, I did talk about dub and sub in Japanese game. Again, links in the description box. But I'm gonna say here my theory about it, and that is the fear of narrative control. So what's the fear there? Well, if more Japanese company putting English dub on games, chances are that budget could have been better used for improving the game, maybe the music, maybe the game itself, heck, even maybe an option for collector's edition rather than putting that money in English dub. Because I had talked to some people and they said that not all Japanese games should have English dub, that money should go better on improving the game or a collector's edition. Again, potato. My opinion is English dub first, then collector's edition, because there were a bit of a disappointment from what I understand with Judgment, because there were like talks that Judgment was supposed to have a collection, and then the guy said, nah, we're just gonna have some doodads in the game. And the theory behind was, well, they couldn't really do a collection because that money was going into English dub. So that's some of the theory that I'm guessing why some super Yakuza fan don't like the idea of an option to have English dub in Yakuza game. I don't know. I think it's just weird. So with that said, what is the controversy and the response to Mugenlord? Of course, I mentioned this. Yongyea will be the next Kiryu for, again, Gaiden and Infinite Wealth. And if you heard his sample, he does sound like just Yongyea doing Yongyea on YouTube. Nothing personal. For me, if I describe of how he does Kiryu in the game, I'm gonna say I'm just listening to an Asian band style. I'm sorry. Yongyea, I follow you. You're cool in my book. I have no problem with you, but when you're voicing Kiryu, you sound like an Asian band style. I'm sorry, that's what it is. Again, is it bad? To some extent, in my opinion, not so bad. But like I said, I'm not a super fan of the Yakuza game. I just enjoy them. And English dub is an option. Makes it more enjoyable for me. That's it. But there are some that, oh my god, there's like, oh, this is offensive. This is trash. This is bad. Yuck. I mean, to a point that I'm going to explain it later, that there was a controversy there. What happened and why the controversy? So, of course, when Yongyea explained and revealed that he was going to be Kiryu for the latest Yakuza game, on his YouTube, he did say a disclaimer that he was well aware what's going to happen, that he knew that some people will react negatively on him. It is what it is. You're an internet personal. You're well known. The same goes with movie star, podcast, wrestler. If you're known to the public eye, there will be some hate, and the rule is you just have to take it. You can't just dish it, but you have to take it. So I'll explain that later. So he was well aware. Then moving forward, unfortunately, there were people criticizing him, and there were a lot. You gotta see what the controversy. Some are just saying, hey, I don't think you're not a good fit. Your voice doesn't fit with Kiryu, and some quote-unquote constructive criticism. But of course, you're gonna have some a-hole that just being destructive and just attacking Yongyea. From what I heard from some people, some say, wow, you're ass as Kiryu, wow, you're shit as Kiryu, technically attacking him. And the problem here is that by now you heard he went on a blocking spree. So when someone does that on social media, it is a red flag. And unfortunately, to some extent, I kind of didn't see it when Elon Musk at one point having an idea to remove the block feature. I mean, my opinion about that one is I don't really give a shit. Hey, it's his Twitter or X or whatever he calls it. But a lot of people, including Yongyea, was like, oh, hell no. And one of his posts, and I saw that, but I didn't think nothing about it. He said, hey, Elon Musk, if you remove the block feature on Twitter, I'm leaving. So I'm like, okay, well, sure. I mean, he does get a lot of hate, but okay, he really needed block feature. I get it. Whatever. It is what it is. And then when they showed some sample, and again, mind you, a lot of the sample probably not representative of the real game. Again, I don't know. There was even a demo. People said that they record some of the sample from the demo when you finish the Gaiden game. Again, who knows? It didn't really sound like a Kiryu guy. Again, Asian Ben Stein. And that's when a lot of people were like, oh my god. And a lot of them were very negative. To a point that, yes, like I said, Yongyea went through a blocking spree. And again, Mugenlord kind of explained it, and I agree with him. To be fair for him, like I said, there are a big difference between constructive and destructive criticism. Constructive is you give him a reason why is it bad, why is it not working. And some people did say most of the common reason is it doesn't fit, he sounds so young for somebody who's in his 60s, and of course, the guy Kiryu has a problem right now in Infinite Wealth, but it's a different story. It did not fit the part, and a lot of people even said that try to go a bit deeper, and I heard they were giving advice. But yes, you're gonna have those bad apples like, oh, you suck, you're shit, you're an ass being Kiryu, how could you, how dare you to be Kiryu, you don't deserve it, negative, shit, blah, 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 trash, blah, blah, go away, blah, 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 disappear. You get the idea. To a point, and this is what I call a repeated offense. For people who don't know what that means, it's a situation where when you can't tell anymore whether it's constructive or destructive. Even so constructive, they're giving you some sort of an advice and they're telling you why, but there's also destructive that, oh, you're not good, you don't fit. They don't give a reason. That's what destructive is. But to the person who's receiving it, they can't tell anymore, and it's just becoming a repeated chorus again and again. You suck, you suck, you suck. An example I did on Twitter that I kind of put a link, it's an old video from Boogie when he talked about his mentor, Total Biscuit. Because believe it or not, he did the same thing. I mean, I did a video about that. Of course, he did rectify that, Total Biscuit, I know. But now it's in the same situation because every time he reads a comment, every time he's trying to get feedback, he's not getting the feedback. It's always the same crap. And from my guess, that's what's happening with Yongyea. Because someone even said, not everyone is shitting on you, right? But unfortunately, is that even Yongyea said that, yeah, there's a big difference between criticism and just being an ass. Because, like I said, some people who support Yongyea did notice that there were just people attacking him. And hey, that's not cool. Be constructive. Don't be destructive about it. Are they sending him hate, threat, post, whatever? I don't know. If it is, again, that's not really cool. So I can understand why Yongyea is doing it, but at the same time, I don't think it was a good idea. You just rise the hate, ignore it, and just keep doing what you're doing, and let the game speak for itself. And the problem also is that for Yongyea, is that he's trying to push that, this is Kiryu, it's going to do better, don't worry about it. To a point I even said that, hey, if you really don't like my voice, again, it's giving you an option, you can switch it to Japanese with Kurada. But that's also sort of a problem that just say, hey, I'm the voice of Kiryu, hope you like it. If you don't, it is what it is. But let the game speak for itself. But there have been times that he's trying to defend himself. He's trying to justify himself that, I am Kiryu. I am the real Kiryu. Like, Yongyea, you're cool. Tone it down. But there was even a point when he said, I earned to be Kiryu. I don't know about that. I mean, from what I understand, I could be wrong. I think Yongyea been doing this for 4 years. There's people been doing it for more than that. He started doing voice acting 4 years ago. And yes, he, as a voice actor, he's good. He has range to some extent. Pucci from JoJo. Some other games, I hear it. I know most of the time he does sound like a Asian Ben Stein, but to some extent he does have range. So the question is, why is it not with Kiryu? I don't know. Can you blame Yongyea? Maybe. But you also have to think about it could be also Sega's fault. Maybe it's RGG Studios' fault. The director, the voice director. Maybe he's Asian. There's a lot of reason to blame, and none of us, to some extent, know from the outside. Again, why was he chosen to be Kiryu? Again, no one knows. But I'm going to have theories of what happened, of why Kiryu is Yongyea, and that Yongyea believed that I can be Kiryu. Again, I don't know. Does he think he deserves it? Sure, that's his opinion. Some theory that I can think of that why Yongyea end up having a opportunity to be Kiryu. So he even explained it that his agent sent him an email, and one of his gig was to be voice of Kiryu. Again, who heard his voice? Could be RGG Studio, the voice director. Maybe he said, oh, I like that guy for the dub. Sega maybe want him to do it. Maybe his agent convinced Sega that he's a good fit for it. Again, negotiation. That's business. Okay, what happened to Daryl? That's another one, the previous voice actor. Maybe he stepped down. Maybe he did it because of, well, I hate to go here. I hope it's wrong, but I don't know. Virtue signaling. If you remember, Aaron and James, they stepped down on some big roles because they felt like that other people should have opportunity. Yeah, it sounds so cheesy doing it, but that's their decision. So maybe Daryl stepped down. Okay, maybe another possibility is that Sega can't afford Daryl. He's asking for more money, so we need an alternative. Oh, there's Yongyea. So why Yongyea? Maybe his voice fit. Again, who knows? Maybe he's cheaper than Daryl. And maybe another one. I don't want to go here, but maybe the situation with the ESG. And if you don't know what that is, I don't touch that. But it's a situation where you want to give every race opportunity to voice something. That's why to some extent now, like, if a fictional character has dark skin, or a white person shouldn't voice them, or vice versa. I don't know. That's what's happening now. Again, I know it's political. Okay, a little bit, my opinion about that one is, voice actor should be race blind. That's my opinion. Which means whoever fits the voice to the fictional character should do it. Race should not matter. But that's just my opinion. But of course, the other side of the penny is, maybe someone has a history of not getting opportunity because somebody else is better, and maybe that someone else is, well, white. Okay, I'm not gonna go there, but it is what's happening in modern times. It sucks. So I don't know what the reason why is. It's up to them. They made their bed, now they have to lie on it. So my opinion with Yongyea being Kiryu, well, like I said, it's not really that good in my opinion. Maybe if it goes a little bit more deeper, maybe that would work. Again, it just sounds like Yongyea. I'm listening to him on YouTube. Again, i.e. Asian Ben Stein. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm Asian myself too, so haha. Alright, so another one is, and again, agree with Mugenlord here, is that should he step down because, oh, he sucked, he might ruin the Yakuza franchise? No. Because it's called an opportunity. You gotta keep in mind, this is his livelihood. YouTube is partially, he makes money, great, but voice acting for him is the big thing. That's how he puts food on the table, roof in the head, clothes in his body. That's his livelihood. If I were this shoe, yeah, I'll take the part too, because not only they'll build my resume, I'll also make money. I can make money and trying to feed well for myself. That's the same thing with Yongyea. That's what I'm just saying. You know, I'm just saying just if I were him, I would do the same thing. I know, but you gotta understand, business 101 sometimes is you gotta protect your livelihood too. So Does it suck? To some extent, you think, oh, Yongyea deserve it. It's a lot of opinions out there. It's a potato. But in the end of the day, Sega made a decision. RGG Studio made a decision. And heck, even the producer for RGG Studio and Corrado, the Japanese voice of Kiryu, they got no problem. They approved it, according to Yongyea. But I know some people said that, yeah, they sort of like they approved it. Again, the option is there. It may suck, but, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it too. There's a lot of reason. Again, whether because, again, maybe it's trying to be modern, don't want to offend anyone. Maybe they want to cut costs. Maybe Daryl just want to step down and doesn't want to do Kiryu. There's a lot of factors why. So, for now, it is what it is. Yongyea is Kiryu, and he gotta eat. He gotta live. That's his livelihood. So with that said, probably not a good idea to do this, but I'm trying to be neutral here. And to the super Yakuza fan, what do you do if you say, oh, I don't like Yongyea to be Kiryu. I hope he's not Kiryu in the future Yakuza game or whatever, which since we don't even know if Kiryu's still gonna be quote unquote alive after Infinite Wealth, if you know what I mean. But let's just pretend that there is going to be more Yakuza game in 2025 and beyond. And for miraculously reason, Kiryu still live. Again, I know I'm going too far, but this is just, let's pretend and find a solution. Okay, what some solution can you do if you really dislike Yongyea to be Kiryu? 1. Let your voice be heard. Get to the company's face. Tell them, I don't think constructively that Yongyea fits as Kiryu. Bode well, doesn't work, doesn't fit, he's too young. I tried playing it in Gaiden and Infinite Wealth. It's kinda hard. And I like to listen to Keiji Chang, Danny Trejo, their English dub. But Kiryu's getting away, Yongyea gets in the way, it's so hard, etc. Whatever the reason is, let Sega RGG Studio know. 2nd, send some constructive message and opinion and concern to Yongyea's agent. He has that link on his bio on his Twitter. I mean, you know, it wasn't for them, he wouldn't be able to do this voice gig. But again, constructively tell them, hey, I think you made a mistake doing this. Why would you do this? And for them, hey, that's money. Big opportunity. If your client, the company, hey, I like this person that you're working with, we want him as a voice, hey, they're going to take it. Again, money. But let the agent know, hey, I don't like it. There you go. And then petition, maybe, but those things don't really work that much. But the most factor is let the public know to some extent information constructively. That's why I'm giving that keyword constructively, that Yongyea doesn't fit. And let the word be heard. Let your word be listened to the general consumer. The bottom line is make it as public as you can and just say, hey, Yongyea doesn't fit. Again, constructively, and then maybe enough feedback, enough reaction, enough info on social media that they're gonna say, okay, well, it seemed that the fans, the consumer, believe Yongyea doesn't fit as Kiryu. Maybe he's gonna get recast. Yeah, that might be assy. You got someone, well, got recast and replaced, and now a missed opportunity. Again, it is what it is there, but at least you finally got what you wanted. I mean, it's a yin and yang. You don't want Yongyea be Kiryu. Okay, well, he loses gig. That's less money for him. All right, well, either listen to Kiryu's English dub voice with Yongyea, and then you're gonna say what people always call it, cringe. Again, it's a yin and yang. What can you do about it? And there have been times where, well, unfortunately, crap happens and complaints, at the same time harassment, does make someone step down. And I did mention this before on the Mario voice, and that Lord Zed voice and Dino Fury stepped down, quit due to online harassment, and had to replace someone. He said, oh good, well at least there's a new voice for Lord Zed. Yeah, but what the cost? You just made the community look bad. That's what's gonna happen if you keep pushing to say, oh, Yongyea should not be Kiryu, and they recast them. Some might say, wow, this is the Yakuza community, just because one guy doesn't fit with Kiryu, etc., etc., etc. there you go. Again, what can you do? I mean, to some extent, it's not just what you get. There's always going to be some consequence and effect, and that's what happens. So there you go, my response and thoughts on the situation with Yongyea being the English dub voice of Kiryu. Again, when he got that email, yeah, he's going to take it. He's not going to say, And if somebody from Sega or RGG Studios say that he fits, what can you do? Again, tell Sega that it doesn't, and you made the wrong choice. And for the next game, he shouldn't be Kiryu anymore. Just saying. But to some extent, it's business 101. Somebody gotta live. Just saying that. So that's my thoughts. With that, I'll see you guys later.